Welcome back to JKPRising. In today's Bioshock 4 video, we're going to talk a bit more about the setting of Bioshock 4 and where it could be taking place. A lot of people have been talking about a Bioshock 4 being set somewhere underground, which makes a lot of sense because the first Bioshock game and the second one was set underwater, and then the third Bioshock game was set in the clouds. So why not have a city somewhere in the middle, which is ironically underground? How about a city that is a giant cave that's underwater on another planet? Ooh, and the city could hang upside down. That sounds pretty cool because they could use the rock formations in underground. And a good example is Hangsha from Deus Ex Human Revolution, where the bottom city was a city and then there was an upper city level in the game. So maybe in the game for Bioshock 4 we could have like a lower city where it's like not really wealthy and it's poor, and then the upper city is where the city's hanging upside down, because I would assume that would be like a luxurious setting for rich people or important people of power to be living in, and they want to live in that extraordinary zone and be like, oh, I'm so awesome because I live in this awesome place that no one else can live in. Not to mention, it could be symbolic because it could be like the upper class is looking down upon the lower class because literally their home is above the lower class. As much as I love the first two games, I think making a sequel that's set in Rapture again would be beating a dead horse. Too much of a good thing is not good. Just look at some TV shows that drag and ruin what made them great. Also, after Bioshock 2, ending Rapture should be more or less destroyed. To be honest, after Infinite, I don't trust them to make a good Bioshock game anymore. For a new game, underground setting might work because it's somewhat unique and it has a great survival horror potential. The game should be called something new and original, not Bioshock 4. At this point, the sequels like Infinite are just riding on the fame and ideas created by the first game, and that should stop. I don't think the game will be called Bioshock 4. I think Infinite did a good thing in naming the game after its setting, or just having a title after Bioshock. Going to the survival horror element, I do think having it set in underground would be a great element for survival horror, and that could be a great opportunity because a lot of people enjoyed the horror elements from the first Bioshock game, and I would not be surprised if that returned in the fourth game. Please read JKPRising. Listen, we have had Rapture in all three games, including DLC. Columbia's story felt that story has ended, but underground would be a good idea, but it would need to be done right. Space is used too much and already was in System Shock. And plus we're getting Prey coming out in May, so that's technically Bioshock in space. I'm also picking that game up. Let me know what you think about Prey. I'm not saying they should never do space or just not yet. If underground, I would like to see a 20s to 40s setting in a dark atmosphere with engines and coal mines and all that stuff. But above ground was Ken's second concept other than space. And having a dystopia that is known but slowly shows its dark secrets would be interesting. We need to see a city corrupted like how the first two games were and the atmosphere telling us the story. An 80s setting would be interesting and could possibly tie into the multiple 80s Easter eggs put in Infinite. And have neon lights in dark places and give a nice nostalgia feeling like how Rapture gave. Infinite was too shiny and the graphics didn't feel real, but more cartoony, kind of like Fallout 4. That's one thing I was kind of turned off from Bioshock Infinite. I was not a fan of the art style and the graphics. Granted, it was a new city, new location, new atmosphere, so I can understand the change, but I wish they stuck to that more gritty, dark feel that Rapture gave off. So I'm not a big fan of cartoony art styles, kind of like how Halo 5 Guardians is very cartoony and like plasticky compared to Reach's gritty atmosphere. And if we do go underground, we'll probably see more of the art style similar to the first two Bioshock games. JKPRising. Personally, I want to go to either the moon or underground. Either one should have some radical left-wing ideology that wouldn't work. I don't want communists on the moon or anything, as that's a low-hanging fruit. What I'd love, no matter what we get, is to bring plasmids/vigors or the new powers we get into the story. With Infinite, they were just on the side, whereas they were a part of what made Rapture Rapture in one. Even Minera's Den had a plasmid involvement. Art style-wise, I want some heavy diesel punk aesthetics. That'd be cool. Past time period as well. I don't want Bioshock going into the future, honestly. So far, the Bioshock games have been big metropolitan cities that are large on feat and innovation, but in a world where they really shouldn't exist. Rapture in today's society, 2017, would probably be almost impossible to make. Same with Columbia, but yet they exist in these Bioshock worlds where they are set way before our current time. So I think going into the future kind of contradicts the whole Bioshock series. And I think the next game will be set more than likely in the past, but its city will be more than likely a futuristic city. And the city is not necessarily in the future like Tron, but the idea of the city would be something that we would maybe create in the future, but it would be done in that world at that present time in the past, compared to our present time. I'm really hoping that the next Bioshock game is underground. To me, it makes perfect sense. Think about it. To make this game new and exciting, they would have to try something new than something done before in their games. Not to mention, the developers of Bioshock 4 did quote that this next game would be highly creative and innovative, so we'll see where that goes. So that takes out Rapture and the Flying City. Now, there's the space route. I don't think it would be smart to do a space one, considering that at this point, the space theme has been done too many times and saturated. Now, an underground city, however, is new and exciting because they can do new creative things and keep the old classic feel of the other games. And if they want to go back to its horror roots, an underground city would be absolutely terrifying. There's an ultimate amount of potential for this. To be successful, imagine a diesel punk dark city with dirty dust covered splicers and oil covered big daddies shining there, lights down, dark caverns approaching you with his little sister. The space doesn't really fit the tone of the other Bioshock games, with it feeling futuristic unless they pull a Wolfenstein and it being in World War II. If it's space or Rapture, I'll still be hyped for it, but just a little disappointed. I do agree the space theme has definitely been overused, and I kind of changed my mind on the whole Bioshock space idea. Not to mention before, Prey's coming out, and I seriously think that's literally Bioshock in space, so if that game's done it, then Bioshock 4 should probably try a different route. Those are some of the comments for Bioshock 4 being set underground. Let me know in the comments below, do you like this idea? Do you want Bioshock 4 to be set underground? Once again, I think it makes sense. The first two Bioshock games were set underwater. Third Bioshock game was set above the sky. The fourth Bioshock game somewhere in the middle, underground. Or it could be set above land. My name is James of JKPRising. Subscribe for some more Bioshock videos. I will cover actively Bioshock content as well as Bioshock 4 when any new official information comes out. If you guys liked anything I had to say in the video, please leave a like on the video. Your support means a lot to me on the channel. It makes me want to keep making videos, and I love having an audience to talk about topics like Deus Ex, Bioshock, Halo, and Dead Space. Once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. I'll see you next time.